June 17th wasn't just another game for the Indiana Fever, it was a war zone, disguised as a basketball court. For Caitlin Clark and her teammates, this wasn't just about winning, it was about justice. This was about sending a message to the entire WNBA. If the officials won't protect their stars, the team will. And when you come for one of us, you come for all of us. What unfolded inside that arena wasn't just a victory. It was payback served cold, fast, and in front of thousands of fans who had been waiting weeks for this moment. From Sophie Cunningham's legendary retaliation to Clark's fiery comeback from injury, what happened on June 17th will go down as one of the most unforgettable nights in Fever history. But to understand how we got here, you have to go back to May 30th. That's when everything started to unravel. The Indiana Fever faced off against the Connecticut Sun in what was supposed to be a routine matchup, but instead turned into one of the dirtiest, most reckless games of the season. In that game, two Fever players, Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson, were taken out by dangerous, high-contact plays. Both hits came from the same player, Jacy Sheldon. Sophie went down with an ankle injury, part of her front tooth knocked out in the collision. Sydney's injury came from Sheldon diving directly onto her leg, twisting it in a way that made fans gasp in horror. These weren't basketball plays. These were unnecessary, reckless hits that crossed a line. But what made it worse? The officials didn't call a thing. No flagrant, no warning, nothing. Sheldon walked off the court like nothing happened while the Fever watched two of their teammates leave in pain. It was an outrage, and it lit a fuse that would explode weeks later. The drama wasn't limited to just the WNBA. Sheldon and Caitlin Clark go way back, all the way to their Big Ten battles in college. Clark, leading Iowa, and Sheldon, a defensive pest at Ohio State, had clashed countless times. Sheldon would shadow Clark on every possession, bumping her on screens, whispering trash talk during stoppages, and doing everything she could to throw Clark off her rhythm. It was a rivalry forged in tension. Each game, each possession, a reminder that this wasn't just basketball. It was personal, so when the May 30th game ended with Sheldon injuring Clark's teammates and escaping without consequence, there was no doubt what would happen the next time they met. This was more than payback. It was war. Fast forward to June 17th. Caitlin Clark had just returned from a 3-week quad injury, fresh off a 32-point demolition of the previously undefeated New York Liberty. But this game, her second one back, was different. She wasn't just here to win, she was here to send a message. You could feel it from the moment she walked onto the court. Her stare locked on Sun players during warm-ups, her jaw clenched. The arena was buzzing. Everyone knew something big was about to go down. Jacy Sheldon picked up right where she left off, swarming Clark on every possession, pressing so close she might as well have been in her jersey. The tension was building with every dribble, every screen, every stare down. This wasn't strategy, this was stalking. And Clark, calm on the outside, was just waiting for the moment to snap. Then it happened. Midway through the third quarter, Clark brought the ball up the court. Sheldon came in for what looked like a standard defensive swipe, but instead of the ball, her finger jabbed directly into Clark's eye. It wasn't subtle, it wasn't accidental. Clark's head snapped back, her face contorted in pain, and the entire building erupted. Fans screamed, players gasped. Clark grabbed her face, clearly in agony, but also furious. This wasn't the first time Jacy Sheldon had gone after someone, and now she was coming for Clark herself. Clark shoved her back in a natural reaction anyone would have had if they just got eye-gouged by their rival. The crowd roared in approval, but the referees had other ideas. In a baffling turn, the refs didn't punish Sheldon for the eye poke. Instead, they handed Clark a technical foul for pushing back. Yes, you heard that right. Clark got poked in the eye and was the one who got penalized. The message was clear. If you're Caitlin Clark, even defending yourself gets you punished. Made no sense. It was like watching someone get mugged and then arrested for fighting back. And this wasn't the first time the officials had let things slide. This pattern of swallowing whistles when Clark is targeted was becoming impossible to ignore. But if that wasn't bad enough, the next moment would light the entire arena on fire. Because Marina Mabrey saw everything. She saw the eye poke, she saw Clark's reaction, and instead of backing off, she escalated things. Like a missile, she charged in and body-checked Clark with the kind of force you'd expect in a hockey game, not a basketball one. Clark hit the hardwood hard, stunned, and the Fever bench exploded. Coaches were shouting, players were storming the court, fans were on their feet, furious. Even casual viewers could tell this wasn't a basketball play. It was assault. Mabrey blindsided Clark in a moment so blatant, even the announcers assumed she'd be immediately ejected. But no, the referees spent over 15 minutes reviewing the incident, and when they finally returned with their ruling, a technical foul. That's it. Just a technical. Same penalty Clark got for getting her eye poked. The crowd lost it. Commentators were speechless. Even Coach Stephanie White looked like she might throw a chair. White couldn't stay silent any longer. After the game, she unloaded in the press conference, calling out the officials for allowing this kind of reckless play to continue unchecked. When the officials don't control the ball game, this is what happens, she said. It's been happening all season long. She wasn't just defending her players, she was indicting an entire officiating system that had failed repeatedly to protect the league's brightest star. And while the refs may have missed the call, Sophie Cunningham didn't. Final minute of the game. Fever up big. The scoreboard reads 87-70. Jacy Sheldon has the ball, going for a meaningless layup with the game all but decided. But Cunningham, back in uniform after being injured in that May 30th game, wasn't thinking about the score. She was thinking about Sheldon's eye poke on Clark, about the hit that took her out weeks ago, about all the dirty plays that went unpunished. And in that moment, she decided, if the refs won't do their job, I will. Cunningham lined up Sheldon, stepped in, and delivered one of the most satisfying flagrant fouls the WNBA has ever seen. Now let's be clear, it wasn't reckless, it wasn't dirty, it was deliberate. Sophie wrapped Sheldon up mid-air, bringing her to the ground safely but firmly. It wasn't a body slam, it was a message, one that every player, every fan, and every official heard loud and clear. The refs gave Cunningham a flagrant 2 and ejected her. Sheldon and Lindsay Allen were also tossed in the aftermath of the scuffle, but Sophie didn't care. She walked off the court with her head high, because finally, after weeks of watching her teammates get assaulted without consequences, justice had been served. The Indiana Fever didn't just win the game 88-71, they made a statement. Clark led with 20 points and 6 assists. Natasha Howard secured her 50th career double-double, and Kelsey Mitchell added 17 of her own. But none of that mattered as much as what the world witnessed that night. This wasn't about basketball. This was about honor. This was about loyalty. This was about saying enough is enough. Sophie Cunningham's flagrant foul will go down in Fever history as the moment the team stood up and said, "You will not bully us. You will not target our players. And if you try, we will make sure you regret it." The arena echoed with chants of "Sophie, Sophie." As Cunningham left the court, her jersey will probably sell out tonight. She'll be an all-star, not because of her stat line, but because of her heart, because she stood on business when it mattered most. She defended her teammate when nobody else would, and in doing so, she reminded everyone that real loyalty still exists in professional sports. Caitlin Clark got her justice, the Fever got their revenge, and the entire WNBA got a warning. This team won't be pushed around anymore. The Fever now head to their first ever Commissioner's Cup final on July 1st, where they'll face the Minnesota Lynx. But win or lose, fans will remember what happened on June 17th. They'll remember Sophie Cunningham's stand. They'll remember the eye poke, the blind side hit, the retaliation. They'll remember that sometimes, when the system fails you, all you have is your teammates. And on that night, in that arena, the Indiana Fever proved that teammates can be more powerful than any whistle. If you believe in loyalty, if you support Caitlin Clark and this incredible Indiana Fever team, comment CC and Spicy Sophie down below. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on stories like this. And don't forget to click the video on your screen right now for more Fever fire. This isn't just a basketball team, it's a movement.